The information provided in this video regarding e-commerce email marketing is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute legal, financial, or professional business advice. Marketing results are subject to numerous variables including industry trends, audience behavior, and execution quality. Historical trends and case studies discussed are not indicators of future performance. Viewers are advised to conduct their own due diligence and consult with professional advisors regarding compliance with laws such as the CAN-SPAM Act, GDPR, and other relevant regulations before implementing any strategies discussed herein. The biggest lie currently circulating in the United States e-commerce space is that email marketing is dead. You have likely heard the self-proclaimed gurus shouting from the rooftops that TikTok ads, influencer partnerships, and short-form video are the only ways to scale a brand in the mid-2020s. However, the data tells a radically different story. While these platforms are excellent for top-of-funnel awareness, relying on them exclusively is the equivalent of building a multi-million-dollar mansion on a foundation of shifting sand. Every time a social media platform updates its algorithm or changes its privacy policy, thousands of businesses see their reach vanish overnight. If you do not own your audience, you do not truly own your business. This video is designed to stop that cycle of dependency. We are diving into a masterclass on the 3 simple email campaigns that historical trends show can account for up to 30% or more of a brand's total revenue. We are talking about automated systems that work while you sleep, turning strangers into customers and customers into brand advocates. This is not about sending out random weekly newsletters that get buried in the promotions tab. This is about psychological triggers, data-driven segmentation, and the strategic recovery of lost revenue. To understand why this is a high-stakes conversation, we have to look at the current state of the market. In the last few years, the cost of customer acquisition, or CAC, has skyrocketed across every major advertising platform. Some reports indicate that acquisition costs have increased by as much as 60% in certain competitive niches. This means that if you are paying $10 to acquire a customer who only spends $10, you are losing money on every single transaction when you factor in COGS and overhead. Most e-commerce founders are trapped in this leaky bucket syndrome. They pour more and more money into Facebook and Instagram ads to fill the bucket, but the revenue leaks out the bottom because they lack a back-end retention system. By the end of this deep dive, you will have the blueprint to plug those leaks. We are going to solve the problem of inconsistent cash flow and high acquisition costs by building an owned audience engine. This is the difference between a hustle that relies on the whims of an algorithm and a legitimate brand that possesses a predictable, scalable asset. The psychology of the inbox is fundamentally different from the psychology of the social media feed. When a user is scrolling through a social media platform, they are in a passive, discovery-based mindset. They are looking for entertainment or distraction. However, when someone opens their email inbox, they are in a task-oriented, decision-making mindset. They are looking for information, updates, and offers. By mastering the 3 campaigns we are discussing today, you are inserting your brand into that high-intent environment. Historical trends in the US market show that for every $1 spent on email marketing, the potential outcome is an average return of $36. That is a 36-to-1 ROI, a figure that almost no other marketing channel can consistently claim. We are going to explore how to leverage this by focusing on the big 3 pillars: the welcome flow, the abandoned cart recovery, and the post-purchase upsell. The welcome flow is your digital first impression. It is the virtual equivalent of a high-end concierge greeting a guest at a 5-star hotel. Most brands fail here by being either too aggressive or too silent. We will break down the exact cadence of these messages, showing you how to tell your brand story while simultaneously driving that crucial first purchase. Case studies of top-tier direct-to-consumer brands suggest that the welcome email often sees the highest open rates of any communication you will ever send, frequently exceeding 60 to 80%. If you are not maximizing this moment of peak engagement, you are leaving your most valuable data on the table. Then we will tackle the invisible money sitting in abandoned carts. According to industry research, approximately 70% of online shopping carts are abandoned before the transaction is completed. For a business doing $100,000 in monthly sales, that represents hundreds of thousands of dollars in potential revenue that simply walked away. We are going to detail a multi-step recovery sequence that doesn't just ask the customer to come back, but addresses the specific objections that caused them to leave in the first place, whether it was shipping costs, trust issues, or simple distraction. Finally, we will examine the post-purchase upsell, which is the most overlooked goldmine in e-commerce. The easiest person to sell to is someone who has already opened their wallet and trusted you with their credit card information. Yet, most brands send a boring "your order is confirmed" email and then go radio silent. We are going to transform that transactional moment into a relationship-building powerhouse. We will discuss how to use timing and personalized recommendations to increase your customer lifetime value, or LTV. By the end of this session, you will understand how to move away from the one-and-done transaction model and toward a sustainable ecosystem where one customer leads to 3, 4, or 5 subsequent purchases over time. This masterclass is designed for the entrepreneur who is tired of the pay-to-play cycle. It is for the brand owner who wants to build a moat around their business that no algorithm change can cross. We are going to move step by step through the technical setup, the copywriting strategies, and the data analysis required to make these campaigns work. We will discuss the shift from third-party data to zero-party data, information that your customers give you willingly, and how to use that to create hyper-personalized experiences that make your competitors look like they are shouting into a void. We are not just looking at what to do, but why it works from a behavioral economics perspective. The promise of today's deep dive is simple: clarity and control. By the time we finish this 10-part series, you will no longer be guessing why your sales are fluctuating. You will have a system in place that captures every lead, nurtures every prospect, and maximizes the value of every single customer. We are going to look at the exact frameworks used by 8- and 9-figure brands to dominate their categories. This is about building a legacy brand that thrives on its own terms. Get ready to take notes, because we are about to dismantle the myths and build a high-performance email architecture from the ground up. The potential outcomes for your business when these 3 campaigns are firing on all cylinders are transformative, and it all starts with understanding the foundational principles of human connection in a digital age. Let's get to work on the first pillar of your new e-commerce growth engine. To understand the first pillar, we have to look at the psychological landscape of the American consumer in 2026. Imagine a shopper named Jackson. Jackson is scrolling through his favorite tech blog on a Saturday morning in Austin, Texas. He sees an ad for a revolutionary new ergonomic keyboard designed for remote workers. He clicks, lands on the site, and a sleek, non-intrusive pop-up offers him a 10% discount on his first order in exchange for his email address. Jackson enters his information, but then his phone rings. It is a friend asking about dinner plans. Jackson closes the tab. His intent was high, but his attention was hijacked. This is where most e-commerce businesses fail. They assume Jackson will remember them. Historical trends suggest he will not. Without an immediate high-impact welcome flow, that lead is effectively dead. The welcome flow is not just a single email. It is a multi-step sequence designed to transition a stranger into a brand advocate. In 2026, the first email in this sequence must hit the inbox within 90 seconds of the sign-up. Why 90 seconds? Because that is the window of peak neurological engagement. Jackson still has the brand aesthetic, the product benefits, and the desire for that keyboard fresh in his mind. If you wait 30 minutes, he has already moved on to 3 other tasks. Data from historical case studies across the U.S. consumer electronics sector shows that welcome emails sent within the first 2 minutes have an average open rate of 68%, whereas those sent after 1 hour drop to below 30%. Let us break down the anatomy of this first email, which we call the value delivery and identity anchor. The subject line is the most critical component. In a world where AI-powered inboxes like Gmail and Outlook are more aggressive than ever at filtering promotional noise, your subject line must feel personal and urgent without being spammy. Avoid all caps and excessive punctuation. Instead of saying "get your 10% off now," a high-performing 2026 subject line looks more like your Apex Gear access and a quick welcome. It is lowercase, human, and implies a pre-existing relationship. Once Jackson opens the email, the visual hierarchy must be impeccable. At the top, you do not just put a giant logo. You use a high-resolution hero image that reflects the lifestyle Jackson wants to achieve. If the product is an ergonomic keyboard, the image should not just be the hardware on a white background. It should be a beautiful sunlit home office with a productive-looking individual who looks relaxed and pain-free. This is the aspirational hook. Immediately below the hero image, you deliver the promised value. If you offered a discount code, it must be prominent, easy to copy, and accompanied by a clear, bold call to action button that links directly back to the bestsellers page. Do not make Jackson hunt for the code. However, the biggest mistake US brands make is stopping there. If you only provide a discount code, you have trained Jackson to only value your brand based on price. In 2026, consumers are looking for alignment with their personal values. This is where the identity anchor comes in. Below the discount code, you need 3 to 4 sentences of high-impact copy that explains why your brand exists. This is your mission statement but framed for the customer. Instead of saying we started in 2022 to make keyboards, you say we believe that your creative work shouldn't be limited by physical discomfort. We designed Apex gear for the marathon sessions, the late-night breakthroughs, and the people who are building the future from their desks. This shifts the conversation from a commodity transaction to a shared identity. Jackson is no longer just buying a keyboard. He is joining a community of builders and creators. Now, let us look at the technical execution. In 2026, deliverability is dictated by engagement. If people open your emails but never click, the algorithms will eventually move you to the promotions or spam folders. To combat this, your first welcome email should include a subtle micro-engagement trigger. Ask a question. Below your signature, add a PS that says, "By the way, are you a Mac or PC user?" Just hit reply and let us know so we can send you the right setup guides. When Jackson replies, it sends a powerful signal to his email provider that your brand is a trusted contact. This historical strategy has been shown to improve long-term deliverability by up to 40% in highly competitive niches. Step 2 of the welcome flow occurs 24 hours later. This is the brand story and social proof email. At this point, Jackson has likely not used his discount code yet. Instead of badgering him about the sale, you provide proof that his decision to join your list was the right one. Case studies from top-performing Shopify Plus stores in the US indicate that storytelling at this stage significantly increases customer lifetime value. You tell the story of the founder or a specific customer success story. Imagine an email titled The 3-Year Journey to the Perfect Key Switch. You describe the failures, the prototypes, and the obsession with quality. This builds authority. You pair this with a carousel of 3 high-quality testimonials from verified buyers, focusing on specific benefits like "my wrist pain vanished after 2 days" or "the battery life is actually as good as they claim." The third email in the sequence, typically sent 48 to 72 hours after sign-up, is the objection crusher. At this stage, Jackson is likely lingering because of a specific doubt. Is the shipping fast? Is the return policy fair? Does it work with his specific operating system? In 2026, you cannot afford to leave these questions unanswered. You create an email that looks like a frequently asked questions list but reads like a conversation. You highlight your free shipping threshold, your 30-day money-back trial, and your US-based customer support. Potential outcomes of this specific email include a surge in conversion from the most hesitant segment of your audience. By the end of this 3-email welcome flow, you have accomplished 3 things. You delivered immediate value, you established a brand identity, and you dismantled the barriers to entry. You have moved Jackson from a casual browser to an informed prospect who feels a connection to your mission. But the welcome flow is only the beginning. It handles the people who are just getting to know you. What about the people who go much further? What about the people who actually add that keyboard to their cart, look at the total price, and then walk away? This is where the stakes get even higher. While the welcome flow builds the foundation, the next campaign we are going to dive into is the one that recovers the most immediate lost revenue. We are talking about the abandoned cart flow, a system so powerful that it often produces the highest revenue per recipient of any email in your entire ecosystem. If you think a simple "hey, you forgot something" email is enough in 2026, you are leaving thousands of dollars on the table every single month. We are about to look at the 3-stage recovery sequence that uses dynamic urgency and psychological loss aversion to bring customers back at the exact moment they are about to slip away. But before we get into the mechanics of cart recovery, we need to address the hidden data points that tell you exactly why they left in the first place, and how to use that data to make your emails feel like a personal invitation rather than an automated nudge. To understand those hidden data points, we have to look at Jackson's behavior through the lens of modern server-side tracking. In 2026, third-party cookies are a relic of the past, but advanced e-commerce platforms now utilize first-party data to identify exactly where the friction occurred. When Jackson exited the checkout page for that ergonomic keyboard, the system logged his final interaction. Did he leave when he saw the shipping cost? Did he leave because the tax was higher than expected? Or did he leave because he simply needed to find his credit card in the other room and got distracted? Historical trends indicate that approximately 44% of cart abandoners leave due to high shipping costs, while 24% leave because the site required them to create an account. By analyzing this intent, We can craft a recovery sequence that feels less like a generic reminder and more like a personalized solution. The abandoned cart flow is essentially a high-stakes rescue mission. In 2026, the first email in this rescue mission must be sent between 30 and 60 minutes after the abandonment. This timing is critical because it leverages the Zeigarnik effect, a psychological phenomenon where people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. Jackson has an open loop in his brain. He wanted that keyboard, he started the process, and then life happened. By hitting his inbox within the hour, you are closing that loop while the desire is still physiologically active. The first email of this sequence should adopt the tone of a helpful concierge rather than a pushy salesperson. A high-performing subject line for 2026 would be something like, "Jackson, did you have any questions about your order? Or simply, we saved your items." Inside the email, you must use a dynamic product block. This is a technical component that automatically pulls the image, name, and price of the specific keyboard Jackson left behind. In 2026, static emails are ignored. The visual reminder of the exact item he wanted acts as a powerful anchor. The copy should be short and empathetic. It should say something like, "We noticed you didn't get a chance to finish your order. No worries, we have held your items for a limited time. If you ran into a technical issue or have a question about the setup, just hit reply. We are here to help. Notice there is no discount offered here." Historical trends show that offering a discount too early trains your customers to abandon their carts on purpose to wait for a coupon code. You want to recover the full margin sale first. If Jackson does not convert from the first email, we move to the second stage of the rescue mission, sent exactly 24 hours later. This is the friction removal and social proof email. At this point, the initial dopamine hit of the shopping experience has faded. Jackson is now in a logical, skeptical state of mind. You need to address the common objections that prevent a purchase in the US market. A highly effective subject line would be what our community is saying about the Apex keyboard. The core of this email is not about your brand. It is about other people like Jackson. Imagine a case study involving a mid-sized US electronics brand named Summit Peak. They found that their abandonment rate was stuck at 75% until they overhauled their second recovery email. They replaced their standard reminder with a featured review from a software engineer who detailed how the keyboard saved him from a repetitive strain injury. They also added a clear section titled Shipping and Returns. The facts. They explicitly stated that shipping is free for orders over $50 and that they offer a no-questions-asked 30-day return policy. This transparency is crucial in 2026. By addressing the potential fear of making a mistake, Summit Peak saw a 12% increase in recovered revenue. For Jackson, seeing a review from another professional in Austin or a developer in San Francisco makes the purchase feel safe. You are moving from a transaction to a trust-building exercise. The third and final email in the primary abandoned cart sequence is sent 48 to 72 hours after the initial visit. This is the scarcity and incentive email. This is your last chance to win Jackson back before he is lost to the void of the internet. In this email, you can finally introduce a small incentive, such as a 5% discount or a free accessory like a premium microfiber cleaning cloth. However, the incentive must be tied to a deadline. A subject line like "Final Call," "Your cart expires at midnight," creates a legitimate reason for the customer to act now. In the 2026 landscape, we also have to talk about cart value segmentation. Not all abandoned carts are created equal. If Jackson left a $500 bundle in his cart, he should be treated differently than someone who left a $10 cable. Your automation software should have a conditional split. For high-value carts, you might trigger a more personalized email from a real person on your team, or even offer a slightly better incentive. For low-value carts, you stick to the automated high-efficiency path. This ensures that you are protecting your margins while maximizing the potential outcomes for your highest-earning opportunities. Let us look at the step-by-step technical implementation. First, you must ensure your site is capturing the email address as early as possible in the checkout process. If Jackson does not enter his email until the very last page, and he leaves on page 2, you have no way to reach him. Use an Add to Cart pop-up or a multi-step checkout to secure that contact information early. Second, you must ensure your email service provider is correctly integrated with your e-commerce platform, so that the flow stops the moment a purchase is made. There is nothing more damaging to a brand's reputation than sending a recovery email to a customer who just spent $300 with you. The potential outcomes of a properly optimized abandoned cart flow are staggering. Historical data from top-tier U.S. e-commerce retailers shows that this single sequence can account for 5 to 15% of total online revenue. It is the highest leverage activity you can perform in your email marketing because you are talking to people who have already identified themselves as interested in your product. You are not trying to convince a stranger to care. You are trying to help a friend across the finish line. But what happens after the rescue mission is successful? What happens when Jackson finally clicks that button, enters his payment details, and sees the order confirmed page? Most brands think the job is done. They send a receipt and disappear. In reality, this is the moment where the real profit is made. The post-purchase phase is where you transform a one-time buyer into a lifelong fan. It is where you increase your average order value and build the kind of brand loyalty that keeps your business stable during economic shifts. The next pillar we are going to dive into is the post-purchase upsell and retention flow. This is the secret weapon of the most successful direct-to-consumer brands in the United States. We are going to look at the exact timing and the specific psychology of the post-purchase high, and how you can use it to double your revenue without spending an extra cent on ads. We will explore how to ask for reviews, how to cross-sell related products, and how to create an unboxing experience that starts in the inbox. But before we get there, we need to understand the critical window of time between the purchase and the delivery, and why most brands are wasting their most valuable opportunity to communicate during this silence. This window of silence is often referred to in the industry as the post-purchase gap, and in 2026, it is where the most successful U.S. e-commerce brands either solidify their relationship with a customer or lose them to a competitor forever. Imagine Jackson has just completed his purchase of the Apex ergonomic keyboard. He has seen the confirmation screen, and his credit card has been charged. At this exact moment, Jackson is experiencing a biological cocktail of dopamine from the purchase and a subtle, often unconscious sense of anxiety, known as buyer remorse. He is wondering if the keyboard will actually be as comfortable as the ads claimed, if it will arrive on time, and if he just wasted $200. If the only communication he receives is a cold, automated receipt from a no-reply email address, that anxiety lingers. However, we can leverage historical trends to turn this moment of vulnerability into a moment of extreme brand loyalty. The first email in your post-purchase flow must do more than just provide a tracking number. It needs to provide emotional validation. In 2026, top-tier brands use this first email to welcome the customer into the inner circle. Instead of a subject line like order number 55432 confirmed, use something that mirrors Jackson's excitement, such as you are officially an Apex insider or Jackson, your desk is about to get a major upgrade. The content of this first email should focus on reassurance. A highly effective case study involves a boutique coffee roaster based in Seattle that overhauled their post-purchase experience in early 2026. Instead of a standard receipt, they sent a message that walked the customer through the specific journey their beans were about to take, from the climate-controlled warehouse to the roasting floor, and finally into the box. By humanizing the supply chain, they reduced their order cancellation rate by 15%. For Jackson and his keyboard, this email should include a personal note from the founder or the head of product, explaining the care that went into the quality control process. You want Jackson to feel like he didn't just buy a commodity. He invested in a piece of craftsmanship. As we move 48 hours past the purchase, but before the product has arrived, we enter the anticipation phase. This is where most brands stay silent, waiting for the shipping carrier to update the tracking. This is a massive missed opportunity for education and friction reduction. This second email in the flow is what we call the pre-arrival value add. The goal here is to prepare Jackson for the arrival of his product, so that his first experience with it is perfect. Imagine if Jackson receives an email titled 3 Things to Do Before Your Apex Keyboard Arrives. Inside, you provide a quick start guide, a link to the software drivers he might need to download, or a video demonstrating the best ergonomic desk height for his new setup. This serves 2 purposes. First, it keeps the brand top of mind during the shipping wait, which historical trends show significantly reduces the number of "where is my order" support tickets. Second, it ensures that when the box finally lands on his doorstep in Austin, he is ready to use it immediately. Case studies from the consumer electronics sector suggest that customers who receive educational content before their product arrives are 40% more likely to leave a positive 5-star review, because their initial setup experience was seamless. Now, let us discuss the most profitable part of this pillar, the strategic cross-sell. In 2026, the cost of acquiring a new customer is so high that most businesses do not actually see a profit on the first transaction. The profit is found in the second and third purchases. However, you cannot just blast a customer with random products. You must use the data from their initial purchase to make a highly relevant recommendation. If Jackson bought the Apex keyboard, it would be a mistake to send him an email trying to sell him a second different keyboard 3 days later. Instead, the third email in this flow, sent approximately 5 to 7 days after the product has been delivered, should focus on complementary items. In the industry, we call this the logical next step. For a keyboard, the logical next step might be a premium felt desk mat or a set of custom artisan keycaps. The subject line should be low pressure and helpful, the perfect companion for your Apex setup. By framing the offer as a way to enhance the product he already loves, you are not selling, you are serving. Data from 2026 U.S. retail reports indicates that personalized cross-sells based on purchase history have a conversion rate 5 times higher than generic promotional emails. This is how you exponentially increase your customer lifetime value. Without spending an additional dime on Meta or Google Ads, you are mining the gold that is already in your database. To execute this at a high level, you need to understand the technical side of the post-purchase flow. In 2026, this is driven by event-based triggers. Your email platform must be synced in real time with your shipping carrier. This allows you to trigger specific emails based on the actual delivery status. For example, if the carrier marks the package as delivered, you can set an automation to send a "How does it feel?" email exactly 4 hours later. This captures the customer at the peak of their unboxing excitement. In this delivery day email, you should also include a clear path for feedback. Instead of a generic "Review us" on Trustpilot link, ask a specific question. Is the typing experience what you expected? This encourages a more thoughtful response. If the response is positive, your system can automatically follow up a day later with a request for a video testimonial or a social media tag. If the response is negative, it triggers an internal alert for your customer support team to reach out and resolve the issue before a negative review is ever posted. This proactive approach to reputation management is a hallmark of the most resilient U.S. brands in 2026. Potential outcomes of a fully optimized post-purchase flow include a 20 to 30% increase in repeat purchase rates within the first 90 days. This is the difference between a brand that is constantly struggling for air and a brand that has a predictable, recurring revenue stream. You are effectively building a community of enthusiasts who feel seen and valued by your brand. But as powerful as these automated flows are, they only work if people actually open the emails. You can have the most sophisticated post-purchase or abandoned cart flow in the world, but if your subject lines are weak or your sender reputation is poor, your messages will never see the light of day. This brings us to the next critical phase of our masterclass. We have covered the structures and the psychology, but now we need to talk about the actual words that move the needle. In the next part, we are going to break down the specific copywriting frameworks that are working in the US market in 2026. We will explore how to write subject lines that bypass the AI filters of modern inboxes, and how to craft calls to action that are impossible to ignore. We are also going to look at a secret technique called the microloop that keeps readers scrolling all the way to the bottom of your emails. Before you send your next campaign, you need to see how the landscape of persuasive writing has shifted and why the old-school marketing tropes are actually hurting your sales. The landscape of persuasive writing has undergone a radical shift as we navigate through 2026. For years, e-commerce brands relied on high-pressure tactics, countdown timers that never actually ended, and subject lines filled with sensationalist claims. But the American consumer, and the artificial intelligence filters guarding their inboxes, have evolved. If you use the same aggressive copywriting formulas from 2022, your emails will not just be ignored, they will be systematically suppressed by service providers like Gmail and Outlook. In 2026, these providers use advanced behavioral analysis to determine if an email is truly wanted. If a user consistently skips over your messages or deletes them without opening, your sender reputation takes a hit that is incredibly difficult to recover from. To win in this environment, you have to master the art of the internal monologue subject line. Imagine Jackson sitting at a local coffee shop in Austin. His phone vibrates. He sees a notification for an email. In the past, a subject line might have read, "Flash sale, 40% off everything today only." Jackson's brain has been trained to categorize that as noise. It is a commercial interruption. However, imagine if the subject line instead reads, "That persistent wrist pain." It is all lowercase. It lacks punctuation. It looks exactly like a quick note from a colleague or a friend. Historical trends in 2026 show that these humanized subject lines are achieving open rates 40% higher than traditional promotional headers. This is because they mirror the internal dialogue already happening in the customer's mind. Jackson is thinking about his wrist pain because he has been typing for 4 hours. The email feels like a timely intervention rather than a cold pitch. Once Jackson opens the email, you have approximately 3 seconds to hook his attention and lead him into what we call the microloop. This is a copywriting technique designed to maintain high retention by creating a series of small, unresolved questions throughout the text. Instead of presenting a wall of information, you use short, punchy sentences that act as a slide, carrying the reader from one point to the next. For example, you might start with a sentence like, "I used to think ergonomics was a buzzword." This creates a loop. "Why did you think that? What changed?" The next sentence provides a partial answer. "Then I saw the data on carpal tunnel syndrome in 2025. Another loop. "What was the data?" You continue this chain, never fully satisfying the reader's curiosity until they reach your call to action. Let us look at a case study from a US-based skincare brand called Radiant Flora. In early 2026, they were struggling with a declining click-through rate on their weekly educational newsletters. They were providing great information, but their audience was skimming and leaving. They implemented the microloop technique, breaking their long paragraphs into 2-sentence fragments and using transitional phrases like, "But here is the strange part," or "Most people get this wrong." The potential outcome was a 65% increase in their click-through rate over a 90-day period. By turning their emails into a conversation rather than a lecture, they kept their audience engaged until the very end. The body copy itself must transition from the problem agitation solution model to the story benefit bridge model. In 2026, people do not want to be reminded of their problems in a negative way. They want to see a path to a better version of themselves. If we are writing for Jackson regarding his Apex keyboard, we do not focus on how much his wrist hurts. That is a negative anchor. Instead, we focus on the story of a developer who finished his project 2 weeks early because he could work longer hours without fatigue. We highlight the benefit of the silent mechanical switches that allow for deep focus. Finally, we build the bridge, which is the product. This leads us to the call to action, or CTA. In the high-stakes world of 2026 e-commerce, the standard "Buy Now" button is often too abrasive for an initial email. It asks for a high level of commitment before the value has been fully established. Instead, we are seeing a trend toward curiosity-based CTAs. Instead of "Buy the Apex keyboard," a more effective button might say, "See how it works on your desk?" or "Check the color options for your setup." These phrases lower the perceived friction of the click. They suggest that the next step is a discovery, not a transaction. Data from historical case studies suggest that these soft sell buttons can increase initial click-throughs by 20% because they appeal to the user's desire for information rather than their fear of spending money. Step by step, how do you audit your current copy to meet these 2026 standards? First, read your email out loud. If it sounds like a commercial, delete it. It should sound like you are speaking to a single person over a cup of coffee. Second, remove all excessive adjectives. Words like incredible, amazing, and revolutionary have lost their meaning through overexposure. Replace them with specific nouns and verbs. Instead of saying, "Our revolutionary keyboard offers amazing comfort," say, "The split key design aligns your forearms naturally." Specificity builds authority. Fluff builds skepticism. Third, pay attention to the PS section at the end of your email. In 2026, the PS is often the most read part of the entire communication. Many users will scroll to the bottom of an email immediately to see the price or the final offer. Use the PS to create a final microloop or to add a secondary piece of social proof. Something like, "PS, we just restocked the limited edition Midnight Black version, but only 40 units are left for the Austin warehouse." This adds legitimate scarcity without being pushy. As we refine these words, we also have to consider the visual environment they live in. In 2026, most emails are being read on mobile devices with dark mode enabled. If your emails are designed with bright white backgrounds and heavy images, they will be physically jarring to the user. Your copy needs to be formatted with enough white space, or dark space, to be easily scannable. Use bullet points for features, but make them benefit-driven. Instead of mechanical switches, use mechanical switches that provide tactile feedback without the noise. The potential outcomes of mastering this 2026 copywriting style go beyond just a single sale. When your emails are consistently valuable, readable, and human, You are training your audience to look for your name in their inbox. You are moving from being a solicitor to becoming a trusted advisor. This is the foundation of a resilient brand. However, even the best copy in the world will fail if it is sent to the wrong person. If you send Jackson a discount on a product he already bought yesterday, your perfect copy will only serve to annoy him. This is the bridge to our next deep dive. We have built the flows, we have understood the psychology, and we have mastered the words. But the real magic of high-level e-commerce in 2026 happens behind the scenes. It happens in the way you slice and dice your database to ensure that every message is hyper-relevant. We are about to explore the world of advanced segmentation and what I call the hidden list. We will look at how to identify your most valuable customers, how to predict when a customer is about to leave you for a competitor, and how to use behavioral triggers to send the right message at the exact millisecond it is needed. Most brands are sending the same email to everyone. We are going to show you how to send the right email to the right person, and why this is the secret to a 30% revenue boost that most people never see coming. In the fast-moving digital economy of 2026, the concept of a mailing list has been completely redefined. It is no longer just a collection of names and addresses. It is a living, breathing map of human behavior. Most brands are still practicing what we call batch and blast marketing, where they send the same generic promotion to every single person on their list, from the first-time subscriber to the 5-year loyalist. Historical trends show that this approach is the fastest way to destroy your sender reputation and drive your unsubscribe rates through the roof. In 2026, the goal is not to send more emails, but to send more relevant emails. This starts with advanced segmentation, and specifically the implementation of an RFM model, recency, frequency, and monetary value. Let us look back at Jackson in Austin. Jackson has now purchased the Apex keyboard and the premium felt desk mat. Within your email service provider, Jackson should no longer be categorized simply as a customer. He is now part of your high-value segment. Recency tells us he purchased within the last 30 days. Frequency tells us he has purchased twice. Monetary value tells us he has spent over $300. By crossing these 3 data points, your system identifies Jackson as a brand enthusiast. Imagine if Jackson receives the same 10% discount code that is sent to people who have never bought anything. Feels impersonal, and frankly, it devalues the relationship. Instead, Jackson should be receiving what we call the VIP Insider sequence. This is a segment of your list that historical case studies show can drive up to 50% of a brand's total revenue despite making up only 5 to 10% of the total subscriber base. For Jackson, the email might not even offer a discount. Instead, it offers early access. A high-performing subject line for this segment in 2026 is, Jackson, a first look at the Apex 2.0 prototypes. This appeals to his status as a top-tier customer. Inside, you are not selling him yet. You are asking for his opinion. You might include a link to a private gallery of upcoming designs and ask him to vote on his favorite colorway. This is the collection of zero-party data. Information the customer gives you willingly because they feel like an integral part of your brand's future. Case studies from US-based luxury lifestyle brands suggest that involving VIP segments in product development increases their long-term retention by over 70%. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the churn risk segment. This is the hidden list that most founders ignore until it is too late. These are people like Sarah, a hypothetical shopper in Chicago who bought a pair of ergonomic headphones from you 8 months ago, but hasn't opened an email or visited the site since. In 2026, the AI-driven algorithms in major inboxes are watching Sarah's behavior. If you keep sending Sarah your daily or weekly updates and she keeps ignoring them, the inbox providers assume your content is no longer relevant, and they will start filtering your emails into the promotions tab for everyone else, including Jackson. To prevent this, you need a win-back or sunset flow. Step by step, this starts with identifying the exact point of drop-off. In 2026, the historical trend for electronic accessories suggests a repurchase cycle of about 6 months. If Sarah hits the 7-month mark without activity, she is automatically moved into the churn risk segment. The first email in this flow should be a pattern interrupt. A subject line like, "Is everything okay with your headphones, Sarah?" is much more effective than "We miss you." The copy should be short and focus on service. It should say, "We noticed it has been a while since we checked in. We want to make sure your gear is still performing at its peak. If you have run into any issues, our support team is standing by. We also want to make sure we aren't cluttering your inbox. If you'd like to receive fewer emails, you can update your preferences here." This shows Sarah that you value her time and her experience more than just her wallet. If she still doesn't engage after 3 emails in this flow, the most profitable move you can make in 2026 is to unsubscribe her yourself. This is called list hygiene. And while it feels counterintuitive to delete potential customers, the potential outcomes for your overall deliverability are massive. A smaller, highly engaged list will always outperform a massive, dormant one. Now, let us discuss the browser but non-buyer segment. This is often the largest segment of any e-commerce list. These are people who have signed up for your welcome flow, perhaps even opened several emails, but have never made a purchase. In 2026, the way to convert this group is through psychographic segmentation. You need to know why they are interested in the first place. This is where the style quiz or preference center comes into play. Imagine if, in your welcome flow, you included a simple 3-question quiz. What is your primary work environment? A. Home office. B. Corporate HQ. C. On the road. Based on their answer, you tag them. If the user selects home office, they are no longer in the general pool. They are in the remote professional segment. From that moment forward, every piece of content they receive is tailored to the home office experience. You send them articles about lighting, productivity hacks for remote workers, and testimonials from other home office users. You are not just selling a keyboard. You are selling a solution to their specific lifestyle. Historical data from 2026 U.S. market reports indicates that segmented campaigns based on user-provided preferences see a 300% increase in total revenue per recipient compared to non-segmented campaigns. This is because you are reducing the cognitive load on the customer. You are doing the work of filtering your catalog for them. The technical execution of this requires a deep integration between your website and your email service provider. You need to be passing custom properties for every user. These properties can include their quiz results, their most viewed product category, and even the time of day they are most likely to open an email. In 2026, the best brands are using send time optimization, which uses machine learning to deliver Jackson's email at 9 a.m. when he is checking his messages at the coffee shop, and Sarah's email at 7 p.m. when she is winding down for the evening. This level of precision is what separates the winners from the losers in the mid-2020s. You are moving away from being an advertiser and toward being a curator of experiences. But there is a dark side to this precision that we have to address. With all this data and all these automated flows, the technical barrier to entry has never been higher. If your emails aren't reaching the inbox, all the segmentation in the world won't save you. In the next part, we are going to go under the hood of 2026 email deliverability. We are going to talk about the hidden technical requirements like BME, DMARC, and the new AI-based spam filters that are currently blacklisting thousands of e-commerce brands without them even knowing it. We are going to look at the 3 technical audits you must perform today to ensure your revenue doesn't suddenly drop to zero because a silent algorithm decided you were a nuisance. You have the strategy and the segments, now you need the infrastructure to ensure they actually perform. Prepare for a technical deep dive that could be the difference between a record-breaking year and a total blackout. The technical infrastructure of your email marketing is the invisible engine that determines whether your messages reach Jackson in Austin or vanish into the digital void. In 2026, the gatekeepers of the inbox, primarily Google and Microsoft, have moved far beyond simple keyword filters. They now employ sophisticated neural networks that analyze sender reputation in real time, looking at hundreds of data points before a single byte of your email is delivered to the user's primary tab. If you haven't performed a deep technical audit of your domain settings in the last 6 months, you are likely operating with a handicapped deliverability rate. Historical trends show that even high-quality brands can see up to 20% of their legitimate marketing emails diverted to spam folders simply because their back-end authentication is misconfigured. To avoid a total revenue blackout, we must first address the foundational trinity of email authentication: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. These are not optional settings in 2026. They are the basic requirements for entry into the modern inbox. SPF, or Sender Policy Framework, is essentially a whitelist of IP addresses and domains that are authorized to send email on behalf of your brand. Think of it as a guest list for a high-security event. If a server tries to send an email claiming to be from your domain but isn't on the SPF list, the receiving inbox will immediately flag it as a potential spoofing attempt. DKIM, or Domain Keys Identified Mail, adds a layer of digital encryption to your emails. It attaches a cryptographic signature to every message you send, which the recipient server can verify against a public key in your DNS records. This ensures that the content of the email hasn't been tampered with in transit. In a year like 2026, where AI-generated phishing attacks are at an all-time high, DKIM is the only way to prove to a server that your email is authentic and unadulterated. Then there is DMARC, or Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance. This is the most critical and often most misunderstood component. DMARC tells the receiving server what to do if an email fails the SPF or DKIM checks. In the past, many US brands set their DMARC policy to P equals none, which effectively means do nothing. However, in 2026, major inbox providers have signaled that a P equals none policy is no longer sufficient for high-volume senders. To maintain a high sender reputation, you must eventually move toward a P equals quarantine or P equals reject policy. This tells the world that if an email claiming to be from you is fake, it should be blocked entirely. Case studies from mid-market e-commerce firms suggest that moving to a strict mark enforcement policy can increase deliverability by as much as 10% because it eliminates the noise of unauthorized senders diluting your domain's reputation. Beyond these three pillars, 2026 has introduced a new gold standard for trust, BIMI, or brand indicators for message identification. You may have noticed that some emails in your personal inbox now feature a verified checkmark or a high-resolution company logo right next to the sender's name before the email is even opened. This is BIMI in action. To implement this, you must have a DMARC policy at enforcement and obtain a verified mark certificate, or VMC. Historical trends indicate that brands using BIMI see an average increase in open rates of 10 to 15%. Why? Because it provides an immediate visual cue of trust. For Jackson, seeing the Apex Gear logo in his inbox provides a psychological shortcut that bypasses the skepticism he feels toward other promotional clutter. It makes your brand feel like a legitimate institution rather than a fly-by-night operation. However, technical authentication is only half of the battle. In 2026, your sender reputation is heavily influenced by engagement-based filtering. The AI filters at Gmail and Outlook are now performing sentiment analysis and engagement tracking at a granular level. They aren't just looking at whether Jackson opened your email. They are looking at how long he spent reading it, whether he replied, and whether he moved it from the Promotions tab to his primary inbox. This is why list hygiene, which we discussed in the previous part, is a technical necessity. If you continue to send emails to thousands of people who never engage, the AI filters will begin to categorize your domain as a low-interest sender. This leads to the dreaded shadow ban, where your emails aren't technically marked as spam, but they are consistently placed so far down the Promotions tab that they are never seen. To monitor this, you must use tools like Google Postmaster Tools. This provides a direct window into how Google views your domain. It tracks your spam complaint rate, your IP reputation, and your domain reputation on a scale from low to high. In 2026, a domain reputation of medium is a red alert. You should be aiming for a consistent high rating. If your reputation dips, you must immediately scale back your sending volume and focus only on your most engaged segments, your VIPs and recent purchasers, until the reputation recovers. This is a process known as IP rewarming, and it requires a surgical approach to data. Imagine a scenario where a US-based apparel brand named Hudson Thread ignored these technical warnings. They launched a massive Black Friday campaign in late 2025 without checking their DMARC reports or monitoring their Postmaster tools. Because they had a surge in spam complaints from an unclean segment of their list, Google's AI filters flagged their domain. Within 48 hours, their open rates plummeted from 30% to 4%. They were effectively blacked out during the most profitable week of the year. The potential outcome of such a technical oversight was a loss of over $200,000 in projected revenue. It took them 3 months of painstaking list cleaning and slow sending to regain their standing. Step by step, your technical audit should look like this. First, verify your DNS records for SPF, DKIM, and DMARC using a public checker. Second, ensure you are using a dedicated sending domain that is a subdomain of your main site, such as https://www.google.com/search?markq=mailed, apexgear.com, to isolate your marketing reputation from your transactional and corporate email reputation. Third, implement a VMC and BIMI to capture that verified trust signal. Fourth, set up a feedback loop with all major ISPs so that whenever someone marks your email as spam, they are automatically unsubscribed and you receive a report. Finally, monitor your spam complaint rate daily. In 2026, a complaint rate above 0.1% is considered high. and anything above 0.3% is a critical failure that will lead to immediate throttling. This technical foundation is the floor upon which all your creative marketing is built. Without it, your brilliant copy and your high-value segments are useless. But once the engine is tuned and the delivery is guaranteed, the focus shifts to the final frontier of e-commerce growth, the science of optimization. You can have a perfect technical setup, but if you aren't constantly testing which elements of your emails are actually driving the purchase, you are plateauing. In the next part, we are going to dive into the world of high-frequency testing. We will move past basic A/B testing and look at multivariate experimentation. We are going to explore how to test your offers, your imagery, and even your sending cadence to find the hidden pockets of profit. Most brands test a subject line once and call it a day. We are going to show you how to build a continuous optimization loop that turns every email into a data-gathering mission. We will look at why what worked for Jackson in January might fail in June, and how to stay ahead of the shifting preferences of the American consumer in 2026. Get ready to turn your email marketing into a high-performance laboratory. The concept of a laboratory implies that we are no longer guessing. In the US e-commerce market of 2026, the most successful brands have moved away from gut feelings and toward high-frequency testing. Imagine Jackson again. It is now June 2026 in Austin. The temperature is hitting triple digits, and Jackson is planning a mountain getaway to Colorado to escape the heat. If you are still sending him the same heavy-duty, indoor-focused ergonomic keyboard promotions you sent in the dead of winter, you are missing the context of his life. Historical trends suggest that seasonal shifts in consumer psychology are just as important as the product itself. High-frequency testing allows you to capture these shifts in real time. Instead of a single A/B test on a subject line once a month, we are moving toward multivariate experimentation. This means we are testing the interaction between multiple elements simultaneously. For example, does a lifestyle image of a keyboard in a bright, sunlit home office perform better when paired with a 15% discount, or does it perform better when paired with a free shipping offer? Historically, many brands would test the image and the offer separately. In 2026, we know that these elements are interconnected. The image sets the mood, and the offer provides the rationalization. If the two are not in sync, the conversion path breaks. Let us look at a case study from a rising US home goods brand called Lunar Home. In the second quarter of 2026, Lunar Home noticed that their standard promotional emails were seeing a steady decline in revenue per recipient. They decided to implement a rigorous 30-day testing cycle. In week 1, they tested the psychological framing of their offers. They split their audience into two groups. Group A received a $10 discount on a $50 purchase. Group B received a 20% discount on the same purchase. Mathematically, the discount value is identical. However, the potential outcomes were vastly different. Group B, the percentage-based offer, saw a 14% higher conversion rate. This suggests that for lower-priced items in the US market, the higher numerical value of a percentage feels more significant to the consumer than a flat dollar amount. In week 2, Lunar Home tested call to action placement and visual hierarchy. They moved the primary button from the bottom of the email to the top, above the fold, and changed the color from a brand neutral gray to a high-contrast coral that popped against the dark mode background. This simple shift in visual prominence led to a 9% increase in total click-throughs. By the end of the month, after running 4 distinct tests, Lunar Home had increased their average revenue per recipient by 22%. This was not because they found one magical secret, but because they committed to the laboratory mindset of continuous iteration. One of the most critical metrics you must track in your 2026 laboratory is revenue per recipient, or RPR. You calculate this by taking the total revenue generated from a campaign and dividing it by the number of emails successfully delivered. The formula is expressed as RPR equals total recipients, total revenue. In the past, marketers obsessed over open rates and click-through rates. While those are important for monitoring deliverability and initial interest, they can be misleading. You can have a 90% open rate with a clickbait subject line. But if the content of the email does not lead to a transaction, your RPR remains low. In 2026, RPR is the North Star. It tells you exactly how much every name on your list is worth in real time, allowing you to allocate your creative resources to the campaigns that actually move the needle. Another area ripe for optimization is the sending cadence. Most brands are terrified of unsubscribes, so they send fewer emails than they should, leaving money on the table. However, Case studies from high-growth U.S. apparel brands indicate that increasing frequency for your most engaged segments can lead to higher total profit, even if it slightly increases the unsubscribe rate. In 2026, you should be testing a daily cadence for your VIP segment versus a twice-weekly cadence. You might find that Jackson, who has already purchased twice and opens every email, actually appreciates a daily update on new arrivals or styling tips. Conversely, Sarah, who only buys once a year, should be on a much lower frequency to prevent brand fatigue. The key to successful testing is statistical significance. In the 2026 landscape, you cannot declare a winner based on 50 clicks. You need a large enough sample size to ensure the results are not just a fluke of the time of day, a specific news event, or a weather pattern in a particular region. Most modern email platforms in 2026 will automatically calculate the confidence interval for you. You should be looking for at least a 95% confidence level before implementing a change across your entire database. Step by step, you should start your laboratory by testing your biggest levers first. These are your offer, your hero image, and your subject line. Once you have optimized these primary drivers, you move into the finer details. This includes testing the pre-header text, the tone of the copy, the use of personalization tags beyond just the first name, and the placement of social proof. Imagine if you tested adding a dynamic star rating and a snippet of a 5-star review next to the product image in your email. Historical trends show that visual trust signals integrated directly into the email body can increase the transition from click to cart by 12% because they provide immediate social validation. In 2026, we are also seeing the rise of zero-party data testing. This involves testing the questions you ask your audience to improve future personalization. For example, you might test 2 different surveys in your welcome flow. Survey A asks for a job title, while Survey B asks about the user's biggest daily frustration. If Survey B has a higher completion rate and provides more actionable data for segmentation, you have just optimized your future marketing efficiency. This is the next level of the laboratory, optimizing not just for the immediate sale, but for the information that will lead to the next 10 sales. This continuous loop of hypothesis, test, analysis, and iteration is what keeps your brand agile and resilient. You are essentially building a custom marketing manual for your specific audience. What works for a tech brand in Austin might not work for a beauty brand in Los Angeles. The laboratory is where you discover the unique DNA of your customer base and how they respond to different psychological triggers. But as we optimize the email channel to its peak performance, we have to acknowledge that email does not exist in a vacuum. In 2026, the American shopper is moving across multiple devices and platforms simultaneously. While email is the backbone of your retention strategy, it is most powerful when it is synchronized with other touchpoints. If Jackson gets an email about a keyboard, sees a retargeting ad on a different platform 10 minutes later, and then receives a timely notification when the item is almost out of stock, the psychological momentum to convert is much higher. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to explore the world of multi-channel synchronization. We will look at how to integrate your email flows with SMS, push notifications, and even direct mail to create a seamless, surround sound marketing experience. We are going to talk about the concept of the omni-channel ghost and how to follow your customer across the web without being intrusive. Most brands are running these channels in silos, which leads to a fragmented customer experience. We are going to show you how to orchestrate them into a single high-converting symphony that makes your brand appear everywhere your customer looks, exactly when they are ready to buy. This multi-channel synchronization is what differentiates a standard e-commerce store from an omnipresent brand powerhouse in 2026. To understand the concept of the omni-channel ghost, we have to look at the fragmented attention span of the modern consumer. Imagine Jackson is back at that coffee shop in Austin. He has already gone through your welcome flow, and he is currently in the middle of an abandoned cart sequence for the Apex 2.0 keyboard. In a single-channel world, you are restricted to his inbox. But in 2026, Jackson is moving between his laptop, his mobile device, and his wearable tech with seamless fluidity. If your marketing exists only in the inbox, you are missing the moments when he is most likely to convert. Historical trends show that while email remains the highest ROI channel, the addition of a secondary and tertiary touchpoint can increase the conversion rate of a flow by up to 45%. This is because you are creating a surround sound effect. The omni-channel ghost isn't about being loud or annoying. It is about being present at the exact moment Jackson shifts from one device to another. This starts with the integration of SMS, which in 2026 has become the most intimate marketing channel available to US brands. Let us look at the step-by-step technical orchestration of an email SMS sync within your abandoned cart flow. In the past, brands would send an email and a text message at the same time. This is a mistake. It feels like an automated assault on the customer's privacy. In 2026, we use logic-based delays. If Jackson abandons his cart at 2 p.m., your first recovery email is triggered at 2:30 p.m. Your automation system then waits. It checks to see if that email was opened within 4 hours. If the answer is no, the omni-channel ghost activates. At 6:30 p.m., just as Jackson is likely finished with his workday, he receives a short, high-priority SMS. The copy for this SMS must be radically different from the email. It should be under 160 characters and purely service-oriented. A high-performing 2026 SMS script looks like this. Jackson, we noticed a glitch with your Apex checkout. Just in case, we saved your cart here. This approach shifts the blame from the customer's indecision to a potential technical error, which reduces the psychological friction of returning to the site. Case studies from US-based footwear brands like Vertex Footwear indicate that this two-punch method, email followed by a delayed, service-based SMS, recovers 3 times more revenue than email alone. However, we must talk about the 10-to-1 ratio. This is a golden rule for 2026. For every 10 emails you send, you should only send 1 SMS. SMS is high-stakes real estate. If you over-communicate on this channel, the unsubscribe rate is not just a loss of a contact, it is often a permanent loss of a customer. Jackson will tolerate 3 emails in a week, but he will not tolerate 3 text messages. You must reserve SMS for the highest value triggers, the final recovery attempt, the out-of-stock notification for a waitlisted item, or a delivery update. Now, let us move to the most surprising comeback of 2026, automated direct mail. While the digital landscape is more crowded than ever, the physical mailbox in the United States has become relatively quiet. This provides a massive opportunity for high LTV brands. Imagine if Jackson, our VIP customer who has spent over $500 with Apex gear, hasn't made a purchase in 90 days. We have tried the win-back email flow, and he hasn't engaged. In a multi-channel sync, your email platform triggers a webhook to a service like Postpilot or Lob. This automatically prints and mails a high-quality, personalized postcard to Jackson's home in Austin. The postcard features the Apex 2.0 keyboard he was looking at, along with the unique QR code that is already tied to his account. When Jackson picks up his mail on a Tuesday evening, he sees a physical representation of the brand. He scans the QR code, and it takes him to a landing page where his discount is already applied and his shipping info is pre-filled. Historical trends from 2025 and 2026 show that direct mail used as a Hail Mary in a retention flow has a 20% higher response rate than a 5th re-engagement email. It breaks through the digital noise by occupying a physical space in the customer's life. Beyond SMS and direct mail, we have to address push notifications. In 2026, browser-based push notifications have evolved to be less intrusive and more contextual. If Jackson is browsing your site on his laptop but doesn't add anything to his cart, a subtle push notification can be triggered 48 hours later if he returns to the site. This is the welcome back trigger. It doesn't require his email or his phone number. It only requires his browser permission. The key here is specificity. Instead of a generic welcome back, the notification should say, Jackson, the ergonomic guide you were reading has been updated with a new video. This pulls him back into your ecosystem through education rather than a sales pitch. The potential outcomes of this synchronized approach are multifaceted. First, you are protecting your email sender reputation. By moving some of your communication to SMS or direct mail, you are reducing the total volume of emails sent to unengaged users, which keeps your deliverability high. Second, you are meeting the customer where they are. Some people like Jackson might be email people during the morning and mobile people in the evening. By covering both bases, you ensure that your message is seen at the peak of their intent. To execute this at a masterclass level, you need a unified customer profile. In 2026, you cannot have your SMS data in one silo and your email data in another. You need a platform that acts as a central brain tracking every touchpoint. This allows you to set up sophisticated if-then statements. For example, if Jackson clicks an email but does not buy, wait 24 hours and send a retargeting ad on social media. If he sees the ad but does not click, send a direct mail piece on day 7. If he buys at any point, immediately kill all other triggers in the sequence across all channels. This level of coordination is what makes the omnichannel ghost feel like a personal concierge, rather than a relentless stalker. We have now covered the 3 foundational campaigns: the copywriting frameworks, the technical authentication, the laboratory of testing, and the multi-channel synchronization. You have the blueprint for a system that can reliably scale an e-commerce brand to 8 figures and beyond. But there is one final piece to this puzzle. It is the most advanced and, frankly, the most controversial strategy in the 2026 playbook. It involves the use of predictive AI to communicate with customers before they even realize they need your product. In the final part of this deep dive, we are going to explore the world of anticipatory marketing. We will look at how to use machine learning to predict the exact day Jackson will run out of his favorite product or when he will be ready for an upgrade. We are going to reveal the shadow campaign strategy, a method for reaching customers who have opted out of traditional marketing but still want to hear from your brand. This is the future of the industry, and it is how the top 1% of brands are currently outpacing the rest of the market. Prepare for the final revelation that will tie everything we have discussed into a singular, unstoppable growth engine. Anticipatory marketing is the final frontier of e-commerce, and in 2026, it is the invisible force that separates the market leaders from the also-rans. To understand this, we have to look at how predictive AI has moved from a buzzword to a fundamental utility. Imagine Jackson once more. He has successfully integrated his Apex keyboard into his Austin home office. He is happy. He hasn't thought about buying another peripheral in months. However, the machine learning model sitting behind your email platform has been busy. It has analyzed Jackson's specific behavior alongside historical trends from tens of thousands of similar users. It knows that for a user who purchased a mechanical keyboard and a desk mat in June, there is a statistically significant spike in interest for specialized cleaning kits and ergonomic monitor arms exactly 90 days later. This is not a guess. It is a probability based on a massive dataset. Anticipatory marketing allows you to send an email to Jackson on day 88, 2 days before he even realizes his keyboard is getting dusty or his neck is feeling the strain of a poorly positioned monitor. This is what we call the pre-need trigger. A high-performing subject line for this in 2026 is, "Jackson, time for a 90-day refresh?" The email doesn't feel like an ad. It feels like a reminder from a proactive partner. You are solving a problem before it manifests as an annoyance. Let us look at a case study from a major US-based supplement brand called Primal Edge. In early 2026, they moved away from standard replenishment emails, which usually send a reminder after 30 days for a 30-day supply. They realized that by the time a customer finishes their bottle, they have already entered a period of friction where they might forget to reorder or look for a competitor at a local store. Primal Edge implemented a predictive replenishment model that analyzed the shipping speeds to different US regions. For Jackson in Austin, the shipping takes 3 days. For a customer in a rural area, it might take 5. Their AI sent the replenishment email exactly when the customer had 6 days of product left, accounting for their specific shipping zone and their individual consumption rate. Potential outcomes of this surgical timing included a 28% increase in subscription opt-ins and a near-total elimination of customer churn for their flagship products. The technical implementation of these predictive flows in 2026 relies on what we call intent scoring. Your email service provider assigns a numerical value to every subscriber based on their recent interactions. If Jackson visits your site but doesn't add anything to his cart, but he spends 4 minutes reading a blog post about cable management, his intent score for office organization rises. This triggers a shadow campaign. A shadow campaign is a sequence of emails that are not part of your standard promotional calendar. They are highly specific, content-heavy messages that move the subscriber toward a specific category without ever mentioning a sale. In the case of Jackson, he might receive an email titled, "The Art of the Clean Desk." It is a high-value educational piece that showcases organized setups. Only at the very bottom, in a subtle PS, do you mention the cable management tray that fits his specific desk model. Because the email was triggered by his specific behavior, it feels hyper-relevant. Historical trends in the US market show that these behaviorally triggered shadow campaigns have a revenue per recipient 5 times higher than general newsletters. You are essentially creating a personalized store experience for every single person on your list. Now we must address the most controversial and powerful tool in the 2026 arsenal: hashed audience synchronization. This is how you reach the people who have opted out of your email list but are still in your ecosystem. Even if Jackson unsubscribes from your emails, you still possess his hashed email address. A piece of encrypted data that allows you to identify him across other platforms without violating privacy regulations like the updated 2026 Data Privacy Acts. You can sync this hash data with social media platforms and search engines to show Jackson-specific content that mirrors the stage of the journey he was in before he unsubscribed. Imagine if Jackson stops receiving your emails but starts seeing helpful YouTube videos from your brand about ergonomic health while he is watching tech reviews. This is the ultimate form of the omnichannel ghost. It ensures that your brand remains the authority in his mind, even if he has temporarily stepped away from his inbox. When he is finally ready for that monitor arm, your brand is the first name he searches for. This is how you build a moat around your business. You are not just relying on a single point of failure like an email list. You are building a persistent presence in the customer's life. As we conclude this 10-part deep dive, let us look at the step-by-step roadmap for integrating everything we have discussed. First, you must have your 3 core flows: the welcome flow for identity, the abandoned cart for recovery, and the post-purchase for retention. Second, you must secure your technical foundation with DMARC and BME to ensure you are actually reaching the inbox. Third, you must move into the laboratory phase, using multivariate testing to find your unique RPR winners. Fourth, you synchronize these efforts across SMS and direct mail to create that surround sound effect. Finally, you layer on the predictive AI and anticipatory triggers to move from reactive marketing to proactive relationship management. The historical data is clear. Brands that own their audience and treat their email list as a sophisticated data engine are the ones that survive economic volatility. In 2026, the cost of attention is only going to increase. By implementing these systems, you are opting out of the bidding wars and opting into a direct, profitable conversation with your customers. You are moving from a business that gets sales to a business that grows equity. Jackson isn't just a customer in Austin anymore. He is a long-term asset whose lifetime value is being maximized by a system that understands him better than he understands his own shopping habits. We have moved through the psychology, the copy, the technicality, and the future-facing AI. This is the blueprint for e-commerce dominance. But as we have seen, the landscape of 2026 is shifting faster than ever. The strategies that work today are built on the data we collected yesterday. But there is one final looming shift on the horizon that could change the way we collect that data forever. There is a new movement towards sovereign data ownership where consumers like Jackson might start charging brands for access to their behavioral patterns. This brings us to the ultimate question for the next era of marketing. If the traditional ways of gathering data disappear, how will you maintain the precision of your flows? We are already seeing the first signs of this shift in the 2027 technical previews. In our next series, we will be diving into the zero-party data revolution and how to build a self-sustaining data loop that doesn't rely on third-party tracking or even AI predictions. We will explore how to get your customers to tell you exactly what they want to buy. And when they want to buy it, creating a level of certainty that even today's most advanced models cannot match. The future of e-commerce belongs to those who can build the most trust, and we are just getting started on that journey. Stay tuned for the next masterclass where we take this engine and make it future-proof.